What's going on, everybody? Poodadoo here, and I am back with another weekly recap of our video game pickups. I am still not yet confident enough in myself to do the spy footage thing where you actually see me going on the yard sale, so this is more of just a recap of what I got. If you check out my Instagram, you'll see that I posted a picture of everything you're getting about to see, but now you can hear the story behind all of it. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of a story. I just got back from a business trip. I was gone for a week, and on my way to the airport, I took a bunch of games. We don't have any local retro video game stores here. So on the way to the airport, there was a store that took trade-ins. So I took a bunch of stuff that I didn't need, didn't need for the collection, didn't feel like selling, and tried to get some trade-in. So I got some trade-in credit, and with that trade-in credit, I picked up two games. The first one I picked up was Monster Hunter Freedom for the PSP. No manual, but the game was in there. I think I paid $15 for that in store credit. And then I picked up Dungeons & Dragons Tactics for the PSP, disc and manual. Paid $12 for that, so $27 altogether, not counting tax. So I managed to get that on the way to the airport. So that was on Monday of this past week. So everything else you see I got today when we went out yard sale hunting. The first thing I picked up this MGA Pac-Man handheld video game. I had a 50-cent sticker on it. I don't like to do quarters, so I gave her $1 for it. It does work. I bought this with the intentions of flipping it. It goes for about $10 on eBay. Not incredible money, but when I only spent $1, I'll make after fees and shipping maybe $6 or $7. That helps pay for some of the other stuff I got. So it was an interesting little find. I'm going to spend some time cleaning it up and getting some of the gunk out of the. You can see. I don't know if you can see that or not. Some of the crap that's down in the thing. I mean, it does work. I powered it up. It works. So it's an interesting little find. I've never seen it. It's about $10. Then at the next yard sale we went to, I picked up I have this thing. I don't just buy video games. I buy lots of different things, and one of the things that I'll buy is calculators. So I picked up this the 30XA Texas Instruments calculator. Again, whenever I see a calculator, if I can get it for $1 or $2, I'll buy it. Sometimes I get lucky. I now learned it's the TI-84 that's the expensive one. But anytime I see a Texas Instruments or Hewlett-Packard calculator, I'll pick it up. So I picked this up for $1. I think it sells for like $6 or $7. So again, not rocket science, not a ton of money, but at least something interesting and help pay for some of the stuff that I bought. Now this next thing that I bought, this was at the same yard sale. This was a guilty pleasure. This had nothing to do with anything, but when I saw it, I knew I had to have it. And a little bit of a story behind it. There's a meme that we saw going around the internet a few weeks ago that said, as a married man, one of the things you're required to do when you go to the gas station is bring your wife home a snack. And we have Tasty Cakes in our area. So I found this. I've never seen this before. This is a Tasty Cake Crimpet Christmas ornament. Apparently very rare. I've never even seen it. I thought it was cute when I saw it, so I asked her how much. She said $2. I'm like, no. So she said, well, how much? I said, how about $1? And she said, okay. So I paid $1 for this. I wasn't going to get it, but just because of the joke in the house, I thought it would be funny to actually have a Tasty Cake Crimpet hanging from our Christmas tree. So that was $1, and maybe I'll sell it, maybe I won't. I don't know. It just depends. But I thought it was kind of cool. So now we're going to actually get into some actual good stuff. The next yard sale that we went to was kind of like a community yard sale. And around here, community yard sales are basically 2 or 3 families that put tables all together. So it was like a multi-family yard sale is what most people will call it. So everything you see here I got for $1. I picked up Grand Theft Auto 4 as an Xbox 360. Pretty good game. This was a disc upgrade for me. The disc that I got was a lot better, and it also had the Liberty City map in it. I didn't have that, so I snagged those, added those to my collection, and this is going to be a bundler that I put with an Xbox 360 that I'm trying to sell as we speak. So that'll help sell that. These next 3 games I got obviously from someone who didn't really care too much for their games. I opened up the games and they were absolutely horrible condition inside. And it was not pretty. There was dust. I believe I might have actually seen a spider in one of the cases. But I picked them up because they were interesting games and they were cool to me. The first one is Midway Arcade Treasures for the PlayStation 2. Can't remember. Yeah, disc and manual. I basically replaced the cases. I have a bunch of cases that I have up in the attic for games that, you know, if I find an empty case, I get it. So I swapped out the case. So I did not have this on the PlayStation 2, so I picked it up. That was $1. Then there was Midway Arcade Treasures 3. It was clear. You could tell a lot from people by the games that they're selling. Around here, we get a lot of racing games. And obviously, this was interesting because Midway Treasures 3 is basically nothing but racing simulators. This one, again, I replaced the case. This is disc and manual. Disc is a little beat up, a couple of scratches on it. I mean, nothing significant. I think it'll still play, and I've got the resurfacer if it doesn't. Then finally, from the same guy, and again, you can tell the theme here, I picked this one up to sell. Saturday Night Speedway. This is actually a $10 to $15 game. He sold it for $1, and I already had it. So I'll either sell this outright for $10, $15 and help pay for the rest of the stuff I got here, or maybe I'll put it with a PlayStation 2 bundle that I've got. In fact, I might do that because of what you're getting ready to see coming up. I can put together I like to theme my bundles. I never sell just the console. If I can't sell the console with a couple of games, I don't think it's desirable. So I will probably put together a driving themed game. So that was pretty much all we saw for yard sales. We then hopped over to the flea market and had a really good day at our flea market. I don't know if I told you guys the story or not, and if I'll just tell you it real quick if I did, and if not, you'll hear a real shortened version of it. But there was one lady at the yard sale, at the flea market, who insisted for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks this one particular game that she wanted to sell. She wanted for $10, and no matter how many times I showed her the eBay listing, no matter how many times I showed her the actual price value was $5, she refused. So first she said $5. We went there and she said $10. I said, how about $5? Because that's how much it's worth. Oh my goodness, you didn't even go to $8. You went right to $5. I'm like, well, $5 is what it's worth. And she said, no, I'm not going that low. So next week went by. No, I'm not selling it. Next week went by. No, I'm not selling it. Anyway, long story short, we picked up Sunset Overdrive for the Xbox One, the day one version, for $5. Took about 8 weeks and a lot of rapport building with her. But she finally conceded. Disc is in fantastic condition. I don't collect Xbox One games. My son picked this up for his Xbox One, but I wanted to show it and show that, you know, building a relationship and building a rapport with someone goes a long way. And before that, what I did was I picked up these 3 games. There's nothing special about these games, but I bought these 3 games from that lady first. I probably should have told you the story the other way. I said, how much for these games? And she said, all 3 of them for $10. And again, it comes down to pay what you're comfortable paying. And for these 3 games, I was comfortable paying $10. So I bought these 3 games for $10, and that started a conversation. And that could have been what fueled her to finally sell us that game for $5. So these are the 3 games I picked up. I picked up Twisted Metal Black for the PlayStation 2. I picked up Resident Evil 4 for the PlayStation 2, which I do not believe I have. No, I don't. So I picked up Resident Evil 4 for the PlayStation 2. I like the Wii version better, but I didn't have it for the PlayStation 2. And I picked up Bully, Greatest Hits version. I have heard nothing but now here's interesting. It's the Greatest Hits version, but it's not the Greatest Hits version disc. So if I ever find an empty case of Bully that's not Greatest Hits, I can swap it out and then I'll have an accurate version. But I've heard nothing but good things about this game, but I've never actually seen a copy of it here. So I picked it up. The next place we went, the next store at the flea market, I picked up, I've never even heard of this game, but I'll tell you why I picked it up. I picked up Rondo of Swords for the DS. And I picked it up for one very important reason, because it was made by Atlas. I have a rule, and my rule is anytime I see an Atlas game, I will buy it, no questions asked. Every Atlas game I've ever played has been fantastic. It is not disappointing. It looks like it's another JRPG style game. And again, complete, inbox with the manual and the disc. He wanted $5 for it. That is the top limit of what I'll spend on a DS game, unless it's a first party title. But you know, the fact that it's an Atlas game was an easy decision. The next place we went, I picked up a Monster Hunter Ultimate 3 for the 3DS for $5. That's what he was asking, but I don't like to pay what they're asking if it's at all humanly possible. But this was the only thing he had on his table, and $5 was not an unreasonable price for this. I mean, it's only worth about, you know, maybe $9 or $10, but $5, you know, I want to play this, so $5 wasn't a bad thing. So, but I told him, I said, you know, I said, part of the fun for me is haggling. So I said, I got to find something else on the table that I want. So I picked this up. He wanted $2 for this. And I said, would you do $5 for both of these? And he said, I'll do both for $6. And even though I'm only saving $1, the haggling is part of the fun of it. But I got this for me. I like this, and I'm going to keep this. I think I'll take it out of the box. But this is the Loot Crate exclusive Scar Battlestar Galactica Cylon figure. This is going to go right up on the shelf. I love the remake of Battlestar Galactica. I may have to wind up trying to get the rest of them now, because there's the rest of them. So yeah, but I saw this, so I got this and this for $6. So not a bad day. You know, nothing fantastic, nothing earth-shattering, but the fact that I was gone for an entire week and I still came home and went right back to work, I was very happy with it. And I will be able to recoup most of the costs of everything here by reselling the stuff that I bought. One of the things I'm struggling with, this whole game hunting thing, even though I've been doing it for about 6 months, is still relatively new in my head. The concept of buying things you already own just because you know they have value and you can either flip them or you can sell them with a bundle. You know, I literally almost walked by that Grand Theft Auto 4, but I know that that's a popular enough game that if I put it with a system, I'll get more than the dollar value. Well, I get more than $1 back anyway, but you know, for me to sell it on eBay, I probably only get maybe $6 or $7, and by the time you get done with shipping, you know, you're down making $1 or $2 profit. But if I put it with a system, that game now may go to a value of $10. So I've got to get myself into the habit of buying games I already own just because I know they have value and I can either flip them or I can put them with a system. So yeah, so that was the pickup. Not a bad day. Let me know what your favorite thing was that I picked up. I have to stick with, you know, where else you're going to find a Tasty Cake Butterscotch Crimpet Christmas ornament, and it's still in the box. It's still not from a. It's definitely not from a smoker's house. So I don't know if I'm going to hang it, if I'm going to keep it, if I'm going to flip it, but I liked it, so I bought it. So between that and the Cylon, I'm happy. I think I made a good set of purchases today. We're going to go back tomorrow. If I pick up anything tomorrow, it'll be on next week's video, because by the time I get done editing the last week's video and this video, I'm going to be done with editing for this week. So, but there was a guy there who had some Atari games. His price was a little high for the titles that he had, but they weren't bad. But he said he had a PlayStation 2 and he was going to be bringing some PlayStation 2 games. So I will definitely be swinging by and checking out what he's got, see if we make a bundle price on a big lot of it. So that's it. Thanks guys for watching. Like I said, if you like the video, give me a like. It really helps with YouTube showing my video to more people and getting me ranked higher in Google search engines. And subscribe. Like I said, you know, I'm really trying to build a following. I'm really trying to build a base. I know there's 100 video game channels out there that do basically the exact same thing. But I know when I was learning to do this, the more I could learn, the more I could ingest, the more confident I became, the better I felt. And I like seeing what other people are finding out in the wild. So anyway, that's it. Thanks a lot. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.